This is assignment 13, hyperlinks in Microsoft Word. We usually think of hyperlinks between different web pages. As we're surfing the web, we click on the underlined text or highlighted text. This time we're going to insert hyperlinks within a document. So a couple of points here first. Some of you are forgetting when you do these assignments to give me a name here. So enter your name at the top. I can't spell my name. And then the next thing, before I do anything else, I notice in the text, which I just made up some silly text, this is going to be my menu area to jump. These are going to be my quick links to get to different points in my section. And I used capital letters here for top of section, and here I use small letters. So this is not something I intended in this lesson, but let's fix that as long as we're here. Instead of having to retype that, go to the pull down for fonts, and one of the choices is all caps. So let me just make these matching. So top of section, let's make those all capital letters. So there's a little bonus for the assignment if you didn't know that was there. All right, so now we're ready to work with some links. So when I click on top of section 1, I want my program to jump to top of section 1. And I'm going to use for these styles called headings. So up here are our style menu, and you can create your own styles, but we're not going to bother making new styles. We're going to use the ones that are already there. So I'm going to choose heading 1, and headings are always recognized as important places in a document. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called headings. So I'm going to define this as a heading, and I'm going to scroll through my document to find top of section 2. Oops. Sorry, let's I just resized the window, didn't mean to do that. All right, scroll again. Top of section 2, did I lose it? There it is. It's in an odd place right now. We would say that this is left all alone, so the terms widows and orphans are odd terms used for when text gets separated from the thing that it should be associated with. But an interesting thing is going to happen here. If I click on that text, select it, and I make it heading 1 style, do you notice that it jumped down to page 2? Because the auto formatting knows that it would be silly to have a heading with nothing below it. So when you see something jump from one page to another, it might be part of the style definition. And we're going to do a heading 1 style on section 3 as well. So I'm going to use the same heading 1 choice. So something internally now is stored in the file. It knows that that's where we put heading 1. So now we're ready to insert some hyperlinks already. So I'm going to go to my menu of choices, and I want this to become the hyperlink that we click on. So I'm going to highlight the text, and I'm going to go to the insert menu and choose hyperlink. Your ribbon might be wider. I've got a small window that I'm videotaping. So your ribbon might look different, but find hyperlink. And when we click, we can do hyperlinks to other files or web pages. We can do a hyperlink to a new document or to an email address. We're going to choose place in this document, the default place in this document. And you can see how nice this works, that if you define something as a heading, Microsoft Word already knows that those are important points. So our highlighted link says this is to jump to top of section 1. So in my hyperlink dialog box, I choose top of section 1, and I click OK. And now you can see that it has become a hyperlink. Let's highlight top of section 2, go to hyperlink, and link it to section 2. And click OK, and we'll do the third one, and then we'll test it out and see if it worked. I go to hyperlink, choose section 3. So if you've defined heading lines as styles, then using hyperlinks are pretty simple. So let's see if it works. If we, in the same document, we can't just click, we have to do Control and click. So I'm going to hold down the Control key, and I'm going to click on top of section 2, and it worked just fine. It jumped to the heading line, top of section 2. Okay, so let's do our links then for these sub-points, for these points A, B, and C in each of these sections. We do not have a choice here. I don't want this to look different. It's inside of a paragraph, so I don't want to use a heading. So now I'm going to use the option of inserting a bookmark. And what a bookmark does is it tells Microsoft Word, this is an important place that I might want to jump to later on. So I'm going to highlight this place. And by the way, you don't have to highlight the whole thing. You can just put your cursor. Wherever you put your cursor, that's where your bookmark will be inserted. So it doesn't have to be the whole thing highlighted. I think that's just our habit. We think of highlighting that whole thing. And we want this time not to insert a hyperlink yet. We need to insert a bookmark first. So we're going to insert bookmark. And because of hypertext markup language, the language that's used for website programming, cannot have any spaces in these addresses. So I'm going to figure out a way to say that this is key point A in section 1 without any space. So a common thing to do is to use an underline character instead of a space. And then we click the word add. So now there's a bookmark there, and not a single thing happens that you can see visually. But you'll see in a minute why we put that bookmark there. So I'm going to go to key point B in section 1, and I'm going to insert a bookmark here. So you're simply telling Microsoft Word, this is an important place. So this is key point B in section 1, and I click Add. So by giving them similar names, I don't have to type them all over again. And I scroll down, here's key point C in section 1, and I'm going to bookmark it. So I'm just going to change the B to a C, if I can get my cursor to cooperate. I'm not doing very well here. There we go. And I add that bookmark. And we could add all of them. We've got some more to add, but let's just go back and see if it's working the way we expect it to. So now I've got my key points bookmarked in section 1. So let's go up here, and again I see I wasn't consistent here. So I'm going to make this wouldn't look good if they weren't all alike, so I'm going to spell section. Alright, so this is going to become a link. So I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to insert a hyperlink to make it jump to the bookmark. So I click on Insert Hyperlink, and now I want to jump to a place in this document, and now you see that we've got more choices. Before we only had choices of headings. Now we also have choices of bookmarks. So I want clearly to jump to key point A in section 1, and I click OK, and you will see the underline show up so you know that we've inserted a hyperlink. So let me take care of these likewise. Hyperlink to key point B in section 1, and I click OK, and key point C in section 1. So now I think you've got the idea. So I need to insert bookmarks before I can jump to those locations. I can either jump to a heading line or I can jump to a bookmark. So I'm going to scroll into section 2. Key point A in section 2, I need to insert a bookmark first. And now I'm going to change this to A, key point A, and I need to change it to section 2. And then I click Add a Bookmark. And I go to key point B, and I insert a bookmark. And I only need to change a little bit here. Need to change this to a B. Add. And one more in section 2. And that probably would have been enough, but I've got 3 sections. So you can probably guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going right into section 3 and take care of all of my bookmarks. Bookmark. So now I'm back to key point A. And you can count as you go through here to make sure you're not missing any. Click Add. 2 more to go. Key point B. Bookmark. And key point C. Now, if you know as you're typing a paper that you're going to be putting in quick links, then as you're typing your project, you could put your bookmarks in as you go along. You don't have to wait until the end like this. All right, now I'm ready to go to my menu area and insert the hyperlink to the bookmarks. So section 2, key point A. Oh dear, there it is. Did I lose it? Section 2, key point A. And it looks like I'm getting these in alphabetical order instead of in location order. So I obviously stopped clicking the location. Instead, it's in alpha order. But we can find key point A in section 2 and click OK. Here we want to go to key point B in section 2, a hyperlink. Key point B in section 2 is right here. So we want to choose this one and OK. And it's a hyperlink to key point C in section 2. There it is. And if I'm clicking somewhere wrong, I think you still have the correct idea. Hyperlink A in section 3. And hyperlink to section B in 3. And C in 3. And this is always not getting your bookmarks mixed up. So coming up with names that you can actually recognize so you know which is which, that's actually pretty important. All right, I haven't been saving, so make sure that as you go through here that you're saving occasionally. Let's see if these are working. So let's go to section 2 in key point C, in section 2. And let's see if I got that correct. Key point C, section 2. Now, you can also, at various places, put a link back to the top of your document. But scrolling back to the top of the document isn't too difficult. So we can check some of these, and I believe they all work. You should check all of your links. So those are how we do links to places inside a document. And it's not specific to Microsoft Word. You do exactly the same thing in PowerPoint, except you can do a quick link to any slide in PowerPoint. So we'll do that sometime yet before the course is finished. And one more idea here is, let's just compare this. Here it says click here to go to Ms. Hartke's class website. So I just wanted to make the point here that we can also insert links to URL addresses. So that would be a place outside of the web page. So I would want to insert a hyperlink here, but to a web page. So I think in my browser, you can't see I'm clicking in the tray to go to the browser. So here's the assignment page of the website. So let's do a link to that because it happens to be what I have open. So I'm going to copy the URL address to the clipboard. And here I'm going to go to the CS assignment page. So let me be very specific about where we're taking you. The CS assignment page of Ms. Hartke's class website. All right, so the hyperlink is whatever text you want to select. And then when I insert hyperlink, now I don't want to do a place in the document. So I don't want to pick a heading or a bookmark. I want to click to a different file or a web page, and it lets me browse to find the place if I want to do that. But I know the address, so I'm just going to click down here and do Control V. I've already selected the place, so I click OK, and then it will give us a link to the website. And I happen to be offline right now, so I can't even show you that when you click there, it will take you to the internet page of our assignment. So it'll jump to that web page. And I think that's all we need to cover here. So this assignment you're just going to save in your Word folder, and you're going to email it to me. You do not have to print it.